At the party, an elderly woman looked at Richard with deep affection. She slipped a gold pocket watch into his hand.
Come back to me.
Before Richard could say a word, she turned and walked away. Everyone at the party was stunned, and Richard was sure he had never met her before. He had no idea what had just happened. Back in her car, the woman started to cry. It was as if she had just fulfilled a lifelong wish. Later that night, she locked herself in her hotel room, holding the screenplay Richard had just finished, and quietly passed away. 8 years went by. Richard had since become a well-known screenwriter, but lately, he'd hit a creative block. So he decided to get away for a while, hoping a change of scenery might help. And as if drawn by fate, he found himself in front of that same hotel. Something about the place just pulled him in. After checking in, the concierge walked him to his room. Once he settled in, Richard wandered into a nearby exhibit. That's when he saw it, a photo of a woman that completely captivated him. He tracked down a longtime hotel employee and asked about the woman in the picture. Her name was Elise. She was once a celebrated stage actress. Her final performance had been held right here in this very hotel. In the days that followed, Richard couldn't stop thinking about her. He felt, somehow, that they'd met before. Unable to sleep, Richard headed to the library. He found a magazine featuring an interview with Elise, but as he flipped to the last few pages, he froze. The older Elise pictured there was the same woman who'd handed him the gold watch 8 years ago. At that moment, there had to be some forgotten connection between them. So he visited the writer of the article, a man who had cared for Elise in her final years. But when Richard explained why he'd come, the man refused to speak with him. That is, until Richard pulled out the gold watch.
Where did you get that?
Well, she gave it to me, ma'am.
Watch was very precious to her. She never left it out of her possession. Disappeared the night she died.
She died that night?
Once inside, the man shared more about Elise. He said she had always been gentle and kind, but every now and then, she would fall into a strange silence, as if she were waiting for something or someone. People close to her said she hadn't always been that way. Something had changed in 1912, during her final stage performance. But no one knew what had really happened. As they talked, Richard noticed a familiar book on the desk. It was Time Travel, a practical guide, written by his college professor.
She read that book over and over.
He opened a nearby music box, and the moment the melody played, Richard froze again. It was his favorite piece of music. Too many coincidences. He now believed, without a doubt, that he and Elise were connected, and the only way to find the truth was to meet her in person. He returned to his professor and asked about the theory of time travel. Using the advice he was given, he went to a coin shop and bought currency from 1912. He dressed the part and laid on the bed, using a radio to repeatedly tell himself, "You are in 1912. Hours passed, the air shifted, the furniture changed, and when he opened his eyes again, the room looked completely different. For he had traveled through time. Overjoyed, Richard began practicing what he would say, and finally, by the moment their eyes met, his mind went blank. All the lines he'd rehearsed, gone. But Elise, too, was struck. She'd never seen this man before, yet somehow, he felt familiar. For a moment, time itself seemed to stop.